The sun was setting, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink as I stood on the balcony, the ocean's melody a soothing backdrop to my thoughts. This was supposed to be our paradise, a getaway from the mundane, a chance to reconnect with Mark. Yet, as I turned back to the room, the sight of him sleeping peacefully twisted something inside me. I felt a flutter of excitement, not from the beauty around us, but from the unexpected thrill that awaited me. The room was perfect, every detail meticulously arranged by the hotel staff, but perfection was the last thing on my mind. As I explored our sanctuary, a small, ornate box caught my eye, its contents promising luxury and mystery. But it was the touch, the kiss, that changed everything. Now, as I stood there, caught between duty and desire, I wondered, would I let passion override reason? As I stood there, the ocean's melody drifting through the open balcony doors, I couldn't help but feel a flutter of excitement. This was our escape, our little slice of paradise. The room was bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun, casting long shadows that danced with the gentle breeze. I turned back to the housekeepers, Jamal and Keisha, their presence a comforting reminder of the care taken by the hotel staff. "Thank you for your attention to detail," I said, gesturing to the neatly arranged toiletries on the vanity. "It's like you've read our minds." Keisha's smile widened. "It's our pleasure, Mrs. Sally. We aim to make your stay as perfect as possible." Jamal nodded in agreement, his eyes scanning the room one last time. "If there's anything else you need, just let us know. We're here to serve." As they left, I closed the door softly, the click of the latch echoing in the spacious suite. The tranquility of the room was almost palpable, a stark contrast to the bustling airport we had left behind. I glanced over at Mark, his chest rising and falling in the rhythm of sleep, his face peaceful. I decided to explore our sanctuary a bit more. The bathroom was a marvel, with marble countertops and a shower that could easily fit four. I ran my fingers along the smooth surfaces, imagining the steam and warmth that would soon fill the space. Back in the main area, I noticed a small, ornate box on the coffee table, something I hadn't seen before. Curiosity piqued, I approached it, lifting the lid to reveal a note written in elegant script. *Welcome to the Grand Oasis. Your journey has just begun. Here, you will find peace, luxury, and perhaps, a touch of the unexpected. The note was signed with a flourish, the Grand Oasis staff. I felt a shiver of anticipation, not just from the promise of luxury, but from the hint of mystery. I turned back to the suite, my eyes catching the morning light now streaming in more boldly through the curtains. Mark was still lost in his dreams, his face serene, untouched by the world's worries. I decided to let him rest a bit longer, savoring the solitude and the quiet luxury around me. As I sipped my coffee, the rich aroma filling the air, I remembered the conversation with Jamal and Keisha. Their stories of the island had sparked my curiosity, and I found myself wanting to know more about them, about this place. Keisha had mentioned something about the local traditions, how the islanders celebrated life with music and dance, their culture rich with stories of love and adventure. Jamal had chimed in, his voice deep and resonant, telling tales of the sea, of fishermen who spoke to the waves and the winds, their lives intertwined with the ocean's rhythms. I couldn't help but wonder about their personal lives, the stories behind those charming smiles. "Do you both live on the island?" I had asked, the question slipping out before I could think better of it. Keisha's eyes had twinkled with a hint of mischief. "Yes, we do. And there's much to tell, but perhaps another time," she had said, her voice trailing off in a way that suggested secrets, or at least, stories not yet ready to be shared. Jamal had nodded, his gaze lingering on me. As the conversation deepened, Keisha shared stories of her travels and the unique experiences she had encountered. Her voice was soothing, almost hypnotic, and I found myself leaning in, captivated. She spoke of distant lands where the stars whispered secrets to the night, of markets bustling with exotic spices, and the laughter of children playing in the streets. Each tale was like a thread weaving a tapestry of adventure, and I was drawn into its vibrant colors. Jamal, meanwhile, was tidying up near the bed where Mark lay, his movements careful not to disturb him. His presence was a silent testament to the care and attention to detail that defined this place. Suddenly, Keisha, perhaps sensing my loneliness or the thrill of the moment, reached out and gently touched my arm. The touch was electric, unexpected, and it sent a shiver down my spine. Before I could process my reaction, she leaned in and kissed me softly on the cheek, her lips lingering just a moment too long. It was a kiss that spoke of unspoken desires, a fleeting connection that felt both forbidden and exhilarating. The room seemed to spin around me as I grappled with my emotions. To tilt as my heart raced. Jamal, noticing the shift in atmosphere, approached from behind, his presence now overwhelming. He wrapped his arms around me in a comforting embrace, his breath warm against my neck. The situation was spiraling, my mind clouded with a mix of guilt, excitement, and an undeniable attraction. I stood there, caught in the middle of this unexpected triangle of emotions. Keisha's eyes held mine, a silent question hanging in the air, while Jamal's embrace tightened, offering a different kind of comfort. The air was thick with tension, each breath a reminder of the choices I was about to make. My mind raced, thoughts colliding like waves against the shore. Here I was, in a paradise meant for relaxation, now facing a storm of my own making. I could feel the pull of both, the allure of the unknown with Keisha, and the familiar warmth of Jamal's embrace. I gently stepped back, breaking the embrace, but not the connection. I need a moment, I whispered, my voice barely audible over the pounding of my heart. I turned towards the balcony, the ocean's melody a soothing counterpoint to the chaos within me. The cool breeze from the sea did little to calm the storm brewing in my heart. I leaned against the railing, my hands gripping the cool metal, trying to anchor myself in the moment. The kiss from Keisha had been like a spark, igniting a fire I thought had long been extinguished. Her touch, so gentle yet so charged with an unspoken promise, had sent my senses reeling. And then there was Jamal, his embrace a stark contrast, offering a different kind of solace, one that felt comforting yet equally forbidden. I could hear the soft snoring of Mark behind me, still lost in his dreams, unaware of the turmoil his wife was experiencing. My vows, my life with Mark, all of it seemed to hang in the balance as I stood there, contemplating the path ahead. The allure of the unknown was intoxicating. Keisha's eyes, when they met mine, were like pools of dark mystery, inviting me into a world where rules didn't apply, where passion could override reason. And Jamal, with his strong, reassuring presence, seemed to offer a different escape, one where I could find comfort in the familiar, yet still step outside the boundaries of my marriage. I turned back to the room, my gaze falling on the plush sofa where Keisha now sat, her posture inviting, her eyes still locked on me. Jamal's hands had moved from my shoulders to rest lightly on my waist, his touch now more of a question than a statement. The tension in the room was palpable, like the calm before a tempest. My mind was a battleground of desire and duty. I knew what was at stake, the life I had built with Mark, the trust we shared. Yet, here I was, teetering on the edge of something wild, something that could change everything. Keisha's fingers traced the line of my jaw, her touch sending a shiver through me. Her lips parted slightly, as if to speak, but no words came. Instead, her eyes asked the question that hung heavily in the air: would I succumb to the temptation or pull back from the edge? I felt the weight of my decision pressing down on me. The room seemed the decision was made in a heartbeat, driven by a cocktail of emotions too potent to resist. Keisha's lips met mine again, this time with a fervor that left no room for doubt. Her kiss was deep, passionate, and it felt like the world outside our suite ceased to exist. Jamal's hands explored, his touch igniting every nerve ending, sending waves of pleasure through me. The room was filled with whispers, soft moans, and the rustle of fabric as we moved together, lost in a dance of desire. It was a symphony of forbidden thrills, each touch, each kiss, a note in a melody that was ours alone. The air was thick with the scent of our arousal, the heat from our bodies, creating a haze that blurred the lines of morality. It was over before I knew it, a whirlwind of passion that left me breathless and disoriented. As I lay there, the reality of what had just occurred began to seep in. I watched Jamal and Keisha straighten their uniforms, their expressions unreadable, perhaps masking their own turmoil or satisfaction. I turned to look at Mark, still asleep, his face peaceful, unaware of the storm that had just passed through our sanctuary. The guilt began to gnaw at me, a sharp contrast to the euphoria that had just enveloped me. What would happen when Mark woke up? Would he sense the change in the air, the lingering scent of betrayal? The thought of his reaction sent a chill down my spine. Would he see the flush on my cheeks, the disarray in the room, and understand? Or would he remain blissfully ignorant, his trust in me unshaken? The weight of my actions felt like a stone in my chest, each breath a reminder of the line I had crossed. Keisha's voice broke through my reverie, soft and soothing. "We should go, Mrs. Sally. Let you rest." Her words were a gentle push back to reality, a reminder of the roles we were supposed to play. Jamal nodded, his eyes meeting mine with a mixture of concern and something else, perhaps regret. "Yes, we'll leave you to your peace," he said, his voice low, almost a whisper. As they left, Mark stirred, his eyes fluttering open, unaware of the seismic shift that had just occurred in our relationship. I quickly composed myself, my heart still racing, my mind reeling from the betrayal. Jamal and Keisha, now back in their professional roles, finished their tasks with a quiet efficiency. They left with a polite nod, leaving behind a room that looked untouched, but the air was charged with the remnants of our indiscretion. As Mark asked if I had enjoyed my morning, I managed a smile, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "It was interesting," I replied, the understatement of the century. The vacation continued, filled with beautiful sights and shared moments, but the memory of that morning lingered, a secret shadow over our paradise. Mark never knew, and perhaps that was for the best. But as we returned home, I knew that part of me had changed, forever altered by the allure of the forbidden. Would this secret change the course of our marriage? The days that followed were a blur of sunsets and laughter, but beneath the surface, my heart was heavy with guilt. Each time Mark touched me, I felt the ghost of Jamal's hands, the echo of Keisha's kiss. The paradise we had sought was now a stage for my internal conflict. I watched Mark, his eyes full of love and trust, and I wondered if he could ever forgive me if he knew. The thought was unbearable, yet the secret was a weight I carried alone. As we explored the island, I found myself looking for signs of Jamal and Keisha, half hoping to see them, half dreading it. Their presence was everywhere and nowhere, like a haunting melody that played only in my mind. One evening, as we dined under the stars, Mark reached for my hand, his touch warm and familiar. "You've been quiet," he observed, his voice laced with concern. I forced a smile, the guilt twisting inside me. "Just taking it all in," I said, my words a shield against the truth. The night was filled with the sounds of the ocean, the gentle lapping of waves against the shore, but my thoughts were far from serene. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.